Good morning, guys. On day, 4 on the Camino de Santiago, the Camino Frances, doing it on an e-bike, which is right there. I'm here in front of the cathedral. Yesterday, I overdid it, as I always do when I go to La Calle del Laurel. I had about 10 pinchos, 2 beers, and 2 cups of red wine. So you can imagine that I had a great night's sleep. I also made a comment in one of the Facebook groups, and I created like a firestorm, which is too bad. I guess people don't like people doing the Camino on bicycles, and it is a shame because it's so much fun. So today, looking at about another long day, 50-kilometer day, to the town of Santo Domingo de la Calzada, which I stayed there before, but I'm aiming to go an extra few kilometers to the next town, to Grañon, because I've heard great things about the municipal albergue there. And if I can get there, then tomorrow it won't be such a long day, because it's supposed to be like 70 kilometers to Burgos. So we'll see what happens. We'll take it one step at a time. Saying goodbye to Logroño. I love this town. Been here already like 4 or 5 times. Cannot wait to come back one day in the near future. So yes, cold temperatures this morning as always, but I think the temperature is gonna go as high as 80 degrees Fahrenheit today. And then throughout the week it's gonna start to cool down, and I think towards Saturday or Sunday there might be a slight chance of rain, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So yeah, let's do it.
I start my morning with a typical breakfast, croissant, orange juice, and a café con leche before heading out on the main bike lane. Bull billboards on the road are a common sight throughout Spain, particularly along major highways and roads leading into cities and towns. My first stop is the ruins of the Hospital de San Juan de Acre, founded in the 12th century by the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, also known as the Knights of Hospitales. The hospital was established to provide care for pilgrims on the Camino. Less than a kilometer from the ruins is the town of Navarrete, my second stop on today's stage. I visited the impressive Iglesia Nuestra Señora de la Asunción, built in the Gothic Renaissance style during the 16th century. The church facade is particularly striking, featuring a central portal flanked by 2 towers and a row of windows above the portal. The interior is also notable, with a vaulted ceiling and several chapels dedicated to various saints.
I decided to make a little quick stop here by this playground where they usually have a water fountain. That's one tip I can give you. Just like you can always find water sources in cemeteries, the parks, they have one. Also those sports centers where you can play tennis outside, they have one too. Water-wise, I'm using a bladder system that I had in my backpack. It carries about 2.5 liters of water, and I have to admit I'm not drinking enough water because usually I drink about half by the time I make it to the albergue. The bells are ringing here in Navarrete, or Navarrete? Yes, where I just rode by it, just in front of the church. Remember that water fountain that they have there in that little park? There was a machine there just taking the floor apart. I guess they're renovating it, which is great. That's why every time I pass through these caminos, things are constantly changing, just like my GPX tracks are, because from Logroño on, I need to update them. I haven't done so in a few years, and I always see something that maybe I missed last time around. It is cold, man. In the morning, I had to have my buff just to cover my ears and my nose and my lips. But then, you know, once the warmth of the sun gets you, the layers slowly start to come off. Today we got an easier day, I think, when it comes to the terrain. And while I was getting a stamp before seeing that bull up there, that billboard of a bull, The guy gave me some advice when I get to Najera just to take the alternative route that takes you to those monasteries up there, get in the hills, and in one of them is where the first words of Castellano, or also known as Spanish, were written down. So I don't know, maybe, depending on how the battery is by the time I make it there, because it makes the day that much longer. I can always stay in Santo Domingo, but I really want to continue on. All right, let's get some water and go for it.
As I leave Navarrete, the Camino leads me back to the familiar flat dirt path cutting through vineyards. Although there are occasional rough sections that force me to dismount and push my 75-pound bike up steep, rocky trails, it's not long before I'm back on smooth terrain, following the highway on my way to Ventosa.
What a great day to ride by the vineyards. Today is going to be a combination of a dirt path like this one and walking next to a busy major interstate road. Going through some few towns along the way, and the landscape is slowly changing. The dirt is becoming more and more red, especially after Najera's, that section. I really like it. And today that will be the halfway point of the day. So maybe I'll have dinner, I'll have lunch there or a snack. You know how it goes. We'll play by ear. Beautiful morning. Great weather, man. Can't believe how much it has changed since the trip started.
Perched atop a hill just a few kilometers outside Najera lies the peculiar Pollo de Roldan, a beehive-shaped rock formation steep in legend as the site where Roland defeated the giant Ferragut using a giant rock. Najera is situated on the banks of the Najerilla River and features a unique street layout that follows the contours of the hills, resulting in a maze of winding streets and alleys. However, the real highlights of the town is the 11th century monastery of Santa Maria la Real. The monastery royal pantheon is the final resting place of numerous kings of Navarra and Castilla.
So here we are in Najera's, guys, mid-morning break with an incredible view from this viewpoint. I highly recommend you come up here. It's not much of a climb, and you have a view above the rooftops of the town. You have the church back there where many kings are buried in this place, and just look at the landscape, how it's about to change. So look at those mountains with that structure, and you have like caves on this side. Just an incredible town. The municipal albergue here is like one of the largest. It has about 90 beds. I stay there, and it's incredible that when I did my first Camino, this section right here from Logroño, for like the next couple of days, I had like bad weather. So just coming back here and having this incredible weather that we have right now with blue skies, and the temperature is nice and cold, but not too much. Even though I'm on my bike and the wind is hitting me in the face, it still feels great. I like this town. Let's continue.
It wasn't even noon yet, and the temperature was already 21 degrees Celsius or 70 Fahrenheit. I made a quick pit stop at Azofra for a late morning snack. The Arroyo de Azofra is a 7-meter tall stone column from the 14th century located just outside the town. Santo Domingo de la Calzada was founded in the 11th century by Saint Dominic of the Way, who built a bridge and a hospital to aid pilgrims on the Camino. The town's name, de la Calzada, refers to the causeway or paved road that St. Dominic built. Throughout its history, the town has been a hub for pilgrims, leading to the construction of numerous churches and religious buildings. The town is also known for its historic defensive wall from the 13th century and its church tower, which stands at over 70 meters tall.
Well, it's like 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm in Santo Domingo de la Calzada, where I was supposed to stay. There's the municipal albergue, and right behind me is a washer and a dryer, a laundromat. While I was here, decided to have lunch at the bar right across the street. And when I was there, I heard or overheard a group of pilgrims talking about the albergue where I'm heading today. They were talking about how great it was and that it doesn't have electricity. And I was like, what the heck? I need to recharge my battery. So I gave them a call, and they told me that they do have outlets, so not to worry. I'm down to my last 1 bar of power on the e-bike. The place is about 6 kilometers away, and I did the math yesterday, and I think I'm getting about 15 or 16 kilometers per bar. So I should make it there without a problem. Food-wise, massive menú del día. I had the salad, followed by some eggs with mushrooms and beer, and closed it with a cortadito. Everything was like $17.50. So the last 6 kilometers of the day are up ahead. It should be easy. I think it's just like downhill next to the road, if I remember correctly. And I'm just looking forward to all the comments of the people saying that that's one of the best Camino experiences on the entire trip. So let's go see what that's all about.
La Plaza de España is the town's main square and features several historic buildings, including the town hall, the palace of the archbishop, and the house of Cofradía del Santo, a religious brotherhood that has been active in the town since the 16th century. Today, Santo Domingo de la Calzada is a popular destination for tourists and pilgrims on the Camino. The 12th century Magdalena Bridge spans over the Oja River and features 7 arches, with the central arch being the largest. The Camino follows a dirt path next to the N120 road all the way to Grañon. I squeezed the last drop of electricity left in my bike's battery to make it to the Albergue Parroquial San Juan Bautista. Grañon, a peaceful town with a population of approximately 300 people, was a significant location during the Castilian Civil War in 1367. The opposing forces of King Pedro I of Castilla and his half-brother Enrique II engaged in a fierce battle, resulting in Pedro's defeat.
So where do I start? I got into town at 3 p.m. and my battery died right in front of the albergue. I'm not lying to you guys, that's what happened. But I do have the best parking so far on the entire Camino, because this is the dorm where I'm gonna be staying. And look where my bicycle is. I have a plug, so I don't even have to take the battery out, which is one of the hardest things, because you have to play with the key a little bit. And this place is a donativo. I'm in the first floor. There's gonna be 6 other pilgrims staying here, and as you can see, you got to sleep on the floor. This is my bed over here, and I have one of those bed liners that I got yesterday at the Albergue in Logroño, because the lady that was staying below me only stayed there just to take a shower and take a train back home. So she gave me the bed, and I managed to create my little bunker with my towel. And I also had this light that I'm using right now, which has a magnet, so I was able to just clamp it on top, put it at the lower setting, and have my little dim light there. Today we have a few things, a few highlights on this albergue. The first one is that at 6, you have the option to help everybody make the meal that we're gonna be having tonight at 8 o'clock. Right after the mass that we're gonna be having at 7 p.m. in the church in the front. I already met the priest and the people running the place, which are just so lovely. There's no stamp here because they say that a kiss is their stamp. So I'm gonna have to go across the street probably to the bar and get one just so that I can have it on my booklet. Perfect background that I'm gonna be having here next to my bed for tonight. That's why I like this room even better than the one on the second floor, and dinner's gonna be on the third. So that's where we stand so far. Incredible place, I highly recommend it. So if you have the energy and can continue walking an extra 6 kilometers from Santo Domingo de la Calzada, then head over here and book this place.
La iglesia de San Juan Bautista, constructed in the 12th century, has a simple yet elegant exterior adorned with a beautiful stone portal and rose window. Inside, visitors can admire the nave's barrel vault, a semicircular apse featuring a remarkable fresco of the Virgin Mary, and a stunning Renaissance-style altarpiece. Additionally, the church houses interesting relics, such as a Gothic chalice and a 15th century processional cross.
So this is how it's going. The albergue is getting filler and filler as the hours pass by. We already had a first improvisation by a group of Italians playing the guitar, singing a song. Everyone there just sat around listening to it. And it's funny because this building has 3 floors, and on the second one, on the main room, there's a door, and if you follow the door, it takes you right into the church. Right now it's like 7:15 and Mass already started. Right after it at 8 o'clock, we're gonna have a communal dinner, which we already started preparing the food. So we were cutting vegetables. They're doing a chorizo soup with bread and maybe red wine. That's what we're gonna be having all together. I don't know how we're gonna fit in that small room because there's a lot of people here, but I'm sure it's gonna be great. Thank you guys, that was day 4 in a nutshell. I can't believe that I'm almost in Burgos. Tomorrow is gonna be the big day, getting there. Just another one of those cities that I really enjoy. Leaving La Rioja behind, and we're gonna enter the province of Burgos, which is divided into 3 other ones, but we'll talk about that one tomorrow morning. Breakfast is at 6:30, which is included. I mean, it is a donativo place, so you leave whatever you can. So breakfast at 6:30, I'm gonna hang out a little bit, wait for the sun to come out, maybe around 8 o'clock, and head out. See you then.